G'day, welcome to New Orleans.
I'm Johnny Cook Dotson from AussieQ Barbecue, and today we're in Louisiana. Mrs. Q and I are going to check out the art, the culture, the music, and some of the insane food throughout Louisiana. And we'll also deep dive into some of the darker history of Louisiana, which often isn't showed throughout.
We just got an incredible insight by Michael, one of the owners, where we're staying in New Orleans. It's pretty insane. It's like you can almost feel the heritage, especially from the show. This is built in the 1800s. Like even I know it's simple stuff, right? But the doors, like the floorboards, like it's crazy. Built in the 1800s, you can only imagine, what sort of passed through these wooden aisles back in the time. G'day, mate. But it's got like a twist. It's got a lot of modern touches as well. It's pretty cool. So we should be able to walk maybe in like another 15 or so minutes. We'll go check out some jazz music. It's just blowing my mind. Like, the things that you've heard of, you've seen on the internet and stuff we're actually here right now. So we're just gonna get our stuff sorted and we're gonna go check it out. Righto, we're off on our adventure. We've just flown in from Florida. We're now in New Orleans. I need to be a little bit quiet because we're in an inn. I'm going to go check out one of the recommendations from the owner, Bob. Thanks, Bob. Let's go have a look. As you know, it's not Halloween, but in New Orleans. Look at this. Alright, we're just being quiet because people could be sleeping, we don't know. Doors are shut, or the ghosts are gonna fuck us up. You're right, lady. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Look. We have to write in that. I'm still being quiet because there's people sleeping down here too. Look at that. Very cool. What, 1883? It says 1883. I don't know, to me it just screams ghost, but I don't know about you. Oh God. This sort of stuff just blows my mind. Look at the cups. Cool. How cool is that? Look at that. That is mad. DVDs, oh my God. This is like my prime DVDs, but does anyone actually watch DVDs anymore? So this is the main breakfast area that we'll be dining from tomorrow between 8 and 10, as long as we don't get too blind tonight. Pretty interesting. Dining with like a whole bunch of people. It's something we never ever do, but we thought, hey, we're in New Orleans, let's do something a little bit different. It's a kitchen area. Sneaking in people.
That's the pub next door.
Oh, that's the pub that he was talking about.
They do the coffee.
Oh, Jesus, look at that oven. We'll see you on the street. Righto, we are now heading towards Frenchman Street. We're told it's absolutely fantastic by the local owner, Bob, and disregarded any other name I said before, but it's Bob. We've got Bob and Michelle, absolute legend so far. So there's a park just nearby, and then we're going to hit down Frenchman Street. He said there's some great jazz bars down there, so we go check it out, chill out, see what's going on, and then it's a little bit late, but so we'll reinvigorate tomorrow. Good, thank you. How are you?
$7 short from getting out the store tonight. Anything to help.
Yeah, the store. Alright, we're now on Frenchman Street. Mrs. Q's talking to the locals. Spotted cat. That's the shit. Is it? Wow. Bang, that's New Orleans. Like, that's just insane. Oh my God, this is all the videos I've seen, and then you see it in real life, you just can't believe it.
A bit of money.
You can't.
I've actually got nothing.
Yeah, I know, we can't. Very, very lively. It's fun. 18. So we got the Frenchman, New Orleans, 519. Look at the guy, looks like he's smoking the ganja. Fried shrimp, oyster, the po' boys. Just jumped into one of the bars. Mrs. Q is absolutely starving, otherwise she's gonna go down. It's a good, cool little spot just down the street. I love that you can just like sit at a table. All right, what are you thinking? Street tacos?
Yeah. Fish and shrimp. What's the po' boy?
It's like a bun with all the stuff inside of it. Remember I was saying about the barbecue mafia guys who are doing
fried
it?
shrimp. I'll go that then. I'll just try this, yeah.
That's what I was actually going to get.
Oh, well, you're not now.
I'm not now. A fish fillet burger. Mrs. Q's got a shrimp po' boy. I got a grilled fish burger. It looks really good. Oh, chips are good.
Oh my God.
You got some Louisiana hot sauce? Fuck. It tastes like Cholula. Fancy ketchup. There you go, ma'am.
So good.
Oh shit. That's hot.
You're going to just say, we don't act like that here, keep going.
Oh my God, it's so tender. Bit of spice in Louisiana. This is donkey? Is that a donkey? That doesn't look like a horse. That looks like a donkey. I think is that a donkey?
Did you know you can actually street drink only in New Orleans if you're of legal age with an ID being over 21? It's only in New Orleans and not the whole of Louisiana. Also, they're really big on having a physical ID, whereas in Australia you can have digital, so be aware of that.
How cool is this? Listen to this. We're back. That's a good little taste. Get onto Frenchman Street. We're now going up the stairs of doom. Fuck, you wouldn't be too blind going up this, righto. We're going to bed. Well, it's very early. Mrs. Q's still asleep. We may have had a few too many. Let's get the day started. Right, time to make our right. Time to make our bone broth. These could definitely kill someone. There you go, Mrs. Q.
Thanks.
Right, we're just now to go on our first walk to the famous Cafe du Monde, and we're going to walk through another very famous place, Faubourg Marinade. Hopefully I didn't completely butcher that. It's so misty this morning, it's actually quite eerie. Talking about all the ghosts and stuff from last night. Very fitting. So we're now on Elysian Fields Ave. What's that?
Don't die.
Oh, I'll try my best not to. So this is about a 5.2 kilometre round trip to the Cafe du Monde on the Mississippi. That's about, I think, about 3.5 miles. Oh, better record my activity, otherwise it doesn't count, does it? Wow, look at that. We've only walked like a minute and I'm already just like taken aback by the architecture, the little cottages or villas. I'm not by the houses, the colours, the design. It's just literally something I've never seen before. Right near us is Washington Square. Look at that. Mrs. Q's chirping at me. She wants to get out of the way so she can take a shot. Just, you know, a lot of people come here for like the vampire stuff and like haunted houses. This is when you'd want to do it. The conditions, it's crazy. We're now just walking past President Park on our way to Cafe du Monde. This is Esplanade Ave, if you're familiar. Not far from Frenchman Street. It's crazy how different the place is in the morning. A lot of hungover souls. Well, as you know, we've been on this adventure trying to get up early to do something, keep the calories burning. Not many other people doing that, especially anywhere near Bourbon or Frenchman Street. Just past the French market, and then look at this artwork just on a random wall. It's just, you can see that everywhere. It's bloody fantastic. So in about 100 metres, we're going to fang a left, then a right, and that should follow us along the Mississippi until we get to Cafe du Monde. So just crossing the railway now, then we're going to turn right, follow the path, which obviously parallels the famous Mississippi. Look at that steam, you can't even see across the other side of the Mississippi. Holy crap, that is crazy. And
I can't even see it.
Mississippi River. I know. That's wild, look at that. Alright, let's see how far we've got to get there. Alright, so in about 500 metres we're going to take another left. It says here we should get there in roughly just under 20 more minutes. Obviously I'm not going to show you too much, it's completely inappropriate, but you know, a lot of people just don't show quotation marks like the real side of the cities that go, and that's why we love jumping into these Airbnbs, get a bit of feel for the neighbourhood and stuff like that. See the poor buggers that are obviously doing it tough, like that guy there. I think he's had a big 10 years, poor guy. Yeah, that's just the way it is, unfortunately. Whoa. Okay, have a look at that. Wow. Just the shift is insane. Well, best of luck to those two fellas. Hopefully their life picks up. There's a sign about the execution of Jean Valjean. Just pause it here if you want to take a read.
The steamboat era actually began way back in 1811.
Transatlantic slave trade to Louisiana. The trade of human beings from Africa to Louisiana began in 1718 with the first slave ships, the Aurora and the Duc d'Amain, arriving in 1719. The last documented slave ship arriving in New Orleans in 1830. Have a go at this. It's incredible. Look at the padlocks. Now, from what I've seen, that these, when they go down like Bourbon Street and stuff like that, these chains get like thrown down. People quite often flashing and doing crazy stuff, and then they wear them around their neck throughout the rest of the night. Continue our very slow walk to Cafe du Monde. There's just so much to see following the Mississippi. It's wild. Monument to the immigrant. Drago and Clara Seventinovic immigrated from Croatia in June 1964 with the vision that only hard work and perseverance could make happen what they gave to their sons and others for an example of generations to follow. There you go. Wardenburg Riverton Parks, dedicated to the memory of Malcolm Wardenburg, who prospered in New Orleans and left a legacy of caring and confidence in the city of New Orleans. And I'm guessing that's old mate right there, having a good old chin wag. This is the park here.
people walking the dogs, a few cooked units behind the bushes, but I'm not going to show those guys. Just going past our aquarium's quite massive. In terms of the just length, I would say we're probably looking at about 1.5 Aussie Rules football fields. Look at the light refracting off that mist. That is insane. Look at the artwork again. Stunning. Damn, I'm not even into art. That's crazy. So as you can see that the Spanish Plaza, I think it is, closed off for a festival, so we're just going to box around, crossing the railway. What do you reckon? Do you reckon there's someone famous? Got that blacked out truck, big ass security guy. Can you see him in the video? Security guy? I can't see him on screen.
On the other side.
There's a security guy there, about 7 foot tall, 150 kilos of pure muscle. Alright, we're attempting to box around now. The Spanish Plaza is like in that kind of area. Creole Queen. Oh, so that's another steamboat we could have a look at too. Alright, so we've just managed to walk through an absolutely dead empty shopping centre. Trying to figure out where it's out. We can have a look.
Are we going to walk through here? Mm-hmm. Yep, cool.
Made it. Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. That was good timing.
Perfect timing. Alright.
Yeah, we're back on track, right?
Yep, that's it. Alright, there we go, we made it. Oh jeez, there's not another fan. River Walk. We've now arrived at one on Mississippi. This is still closed, so we're going to get some more steps in. We're actually going to go to the one, what was the street that it was on, hun? Mist is starting to break. You can now see across the river. So we're now going to Cafe du Monde at 800 Decatur Street. Butchered that too, probably. Alright. That's been open for a while, so hopefully it's not too packed. Opened at 7:15 AM. It might be a bit hectic, but we'll see how we go. Not too sure what all these engravings are. At first I thought it might have been people that died in Hurricane Katrina, because there's 1,833 lives lost, but it looks like there's new names, so I'm not too sure. Does anyone know? Just outside of the aquarium. Could be something completely opposite. Holy snapping duck shies, it is packed, as you can imagine. This is the very tourist famous Cafe du Monde. Good job,
No, I'm ice.
Well, there you go. The famous Cafe du Monde. I've got nothing to compare it to other than my nana She grew up with absolutely nothing, so she made like a little chicory coffee type thing. It's the only thing I had to compare to. Never had a beignet before, but had a nice contrast of soft to crispy and there's a little sweetness on top. I did bang a lot of that icing sugar off because it's probably my heart stopped. But first impressions, I'd give that a solid 8.5 to 9 out of 10. Bloody awesome. Having that street jazz there was fucking insane. So yeah, what an experience. We timed it perfectly. It was like Mrs. Q had a plan. Best table in the house, right in front of the band. Just happened to be there, sat down, served, eaten out within like 15, 20 minutes, just enjoying the music. Obviously, you don't want to sit there all day because other people want to have a crack at the title as well. Righto, we're going to head back to the hotel, get some food into Mrs. Q's gullet, and then we'll have a shower and reset. Mrs. Q's happy she's got her brekkie thanks to Michelle, the innkeeper. Look at how good does that look? Orange, frittata, bacon, tomato, muffin. Whew. Doesn't get much better than that.
Totally trashed the room.
No way.
Looking for his keys, which were not there. But when he did find his keys in his own room, in a drunken rage, they had driven from Houston. He got in his truck and he drove home drunk and left his wife and 2 friends here. Just left, they were sitting at a bar and he got his stuff.
We're now in the French market. Mrs. Q wants to do a little bit of shopping, so we're just going to have a look. In particular, we get a magnet from everywhere we go, so we're going to try and find one of those.
That's really cool about that one.
Yeah. Oh, real gator. 166 plus tax.
Nice job.
$30 plus tax, that's a bit crazy. And this place just keeps on going. Once you get through the market area, it's a bit more like, turns into like a food. You've still got stuff on the right hand side, selling stuff, then you've got food on the left. Hook straight into your pina coladas again. Here the dog, get back on it. Crawfish beignets, how does that work? That's something a bit different. A bit of a, oh sorry.
So sorry.
Shrimp and grits. So Mrs. Q is getting some seafood gumbo, something we've always wanted to try, so keen to try that out. Mrs. Q, good eye, found some seasonings, that's pretty cool. Creole, barbecue shrimp, got some hot sauces. There comes Mrs. Q with the seafood gumbo.
Yeah.
How good does that look? Look at the depth of flavour in that. First ever shot. Very seafoody.
It's okay.
Bulk seafood flavour.
There's a bit of bread there.
Doesn't jump out at me like that.
Nah,
The po' boy that was cooked to perfection yesterday.
Yeah.
Right, so we're still in that French market area. We punched out the seafood gumbo. We're now about to watch a cooking class, yakame, which is a beef Creole noodle soup. The locals tell me that it's called Old Sober because a lot of people have the soup after a big night on the piss. Good, thank you.
Right, very good, yeah. Food. Yakame came about in the early 1900s here in New Orleans. So, y'all know there was a great migration of Chinese people that came into Louisiana right after the Civil War to help work on plantations. Well, eventually they migrated into the city of New Orleans where they built the first Chinatown. And that was around present-day City Hall, if y'all know where that is. It was really known as Old Sober, you know, where you could have a few drinks on Bourbon Street and then stop and get a bowl of Old Sober. You know what I'm talking about. He's from here. So you know what I'm talking about.
Thank you,
Where
sir.
y'all from today?
We're the same Australians with the Vegemite.
Y'all
Yeah. No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
You can be if you want.
Where are you from?
Arizona.
Arizona. All right, welcome to New Orleans.
It's right next to Australia.
That's
It's right
right.
next to Australia. When did Arizona get next to Australia? I think you're pulling my leg.
Possibly.
I think you mean in terms of the letter A.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. You like?
Oh. She's not sharing her natural.
I might save you half. Don't know if you'll get a prawn.
Calls me selfish.
No, 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 no.
But we're not selfish.
It's very easy just to drink it. Ooh, I prefer that than the gumbo.
Really?
It's got a nice beef stocky kind of flavour. Let me try it with a bit of egg. I really like that. Pretty easy to... Might see the next on AussieQ with maybe a bit of brisket. So this was a gift from France to the people of New Orleans. This is actually Joan of Arc. So we're just on DK Tourist Street. So if you really want to get your tourist on, you know, you've got all the knickknacks and all that sort of stuff. There's just shop after shop after shop of it. We've got our magnets, we've got to fix. Might get a cheeky little shirt. There's a crawfish one kicking around that says, well, it ain't got to suck itself. I thought that was a bit cheeky. $20 though is a little bit rough. We'll see how we go. Just having a bit of a look around. It's either people have been doing coke or beignets. Clearly the second option. Look at that. You know someone's been here. It's a disaster zone of powdered sugar. Hello. Don't go near him. You might have your hand off. We're now at the Cathedral Basilica of St. Louis, King of France. One of the oldest continuously running cathedrals in the whole of America. Have a go at that. That is absolutely incredible. Just, it's stunning, and I have absolutely no religious bone in me whatsoever. But you can really appreciate the history and the architecture. It's amazing. Confession time. Look at the detail in these stained glass windows. So there you go. Erected in 1718. So we're now on Charter Street. It's absolutely beautiful. Ah, that's sick. God, I didn't even think I was a 70-year-old gardener or something. It's hard to appreciate how cool it looks in real life. Right, we're now back at the inn. Time to reset. Just bomb up a water again. Going to go get some throat lozenges. I feel a bit of tickle in the back of the throat. You know what that means. Just knock it on the head now. Then we're going to Parkway Bakery and Tavern. I've been told from in Australia and in America, they've got the best po' boy in New Orleans. All right, we'll see you there. We're at Parkway Bakery and Tavern, opened up in 1911 by Charles. Keen to try some of their famous po' boys. Right, let's get stuck into it. Archive food. Do we get a table? Can I get the James Brown?
James Brown, large to small.
Go large.
Lettuce, tomato, pickle, spicy.
Yes, please.
Anything else?
Yeah, we'll go the Gulf shrimp large and a coleslaw. Order up there. Take a seat. Pick up window right there. They'll call you out nice and easy. The Obama family coming in for a feed too. Mrs. Q's got the wild caught Gulf shrimp. Look at that. Oh. They don't mince about it, they've got that loaded. And we've got the slaw. Ooh, that looks good too. Keen to give it a red hot shot. I've got the James Brown, so I'll show you that in a second. Right, first of all, we'll try that slaw. Looks quite light, looks like a little bit of faint bit of pepper through it. Excuse me, I'm not a slaw fan, but it's not as in your face, it's quite smooth, crunchy. Let's have a look at this James Brown, look at that. All the dressings, and it's got roast beef, and it's got the prawn, or the shrimp in there, sorry. There's a bit of a look at it. All right, let's give it a red hot shot. Nice richness from that beef. A little bit of the crispiness from the shrimp. Cheese makes everything better. Righto, cheers. All right, we're gonna try some of that shrimp with the Louisiana hot sauce. That's really bloody good. You gotta give that a shot. Mrs. Q's like, Well, there you have it. Parkway Bakery and Taverns. Poor boys. Two absolute crackers. If you've never had a traditional poor boy or po' boy, think of a banh mi style bun. Slightly denser, not as crisp on the outside, but has that same sort of characteristics.
but nice and soft. Killooey bun on the inside, far out. F me sideways, cracking result. Both of them, the James Brown and the wild caught shrimp version was insane. Decent slaw, nice and crunchy. I probably would have added a little bit of hot sauce to the slaw if I had to. Overall, an absolute ripper. Righto, we might go for a walk around the area, see what's out and about, and then bomb up some more water and head out again.
She said, "Now this is for all people."
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
And her food is delicious. Oh God. But if she was still alive, if you go in there, she would greet you.
Yeah, personally.
She was 90-something years old and still was greeting people.
Still just grinding. That's crazy.
What a good person.
Yeah.
Is it still family run or
It's
just?
still, no, it's ran by her family.
Wow, that's good.
Ran by her family. Matter of fact, a lot of actors and politicians, when they're in town, that's where they go.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Right, we're just sitting out front of the inn. We're just about to head off and go to the Cages and Seafood. We're going to get some crawfish. Mrs. Q is just waiting to drill them. We're speaking to one of the Ubers before, who you would have just seen previously, that he was talking about one of the other restaurants where the owner opened it in 1941 and then has now passed away. Yeah, he was saying that the crawfish season is open from November to December, so we just miss it. So I'm not too sure what the crawfish quality will be like, but we'll give it a red hot shot. Now, one of the other things I was doing, I was just looking at in the surrounding neighbourhoods, seeing what it's like, because as you've no doubt seen, I'm a big fan of staying in the neighbourhoods versus hotels. It's insular and shielded. But one thing I didn't realise about New Orleans is the locals absolutely despise Airbnb because there's such a sheer amount of them that's actually taking away accommodation from the locals, which is obviously insane. And I know that if this is my hometown, I wouldn't want that either, because we live in regional Queensland, so there's minimal tourists out that way. We're lucky enough with this place, it's actually an inn, so there's multiple people here, and they promote that. They obviously still want tourists here, but yeah, Airbnb. Funny how something you learn every day. I would never have known that until I started searching online, just seeing what the areas were like around here, and that was just a lot of the chatter that I saw. So yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Cheers. Just at Cajun Seafood, just across from the overpass. Look at these mad legends. Look at the barbecues. They've got food trucks under there. That's sick.
No, that's fine. Thanks. Yes, please.
Head off. Head on or off?
Off? Oh, that's fine. Just have that one.
Good selection of condiments that you can buy too. Even a bag of their spice for the broil. That's pretty cool. Get some pork cracklings.
We're absolute bloody noobs. It's shutting just as we're getting here, so we couldn't actually dine in. So we're going to take it back with us. So now this is an expensive bloody meal. We're going to get the Uber. We're going to head back to the joint, and we're going to eat it at the inn.
All right, Mrs. Q has been dying for this. We only just snuck in there. We've got the gloves. She's ready to go. She knows what the drill. Have a go at that. All right, so we've got crawfish broil, we've got potato, we've got corn, we've got head-on shrimp, and obviously the crawfish themselves. So it'll be interesting to see that as they're out of season what they're actually like. You get a fair feel. Gonna be a baby. I'm putting the gloves on because I got to handle the camera after this. Crawfish eating. This is a tiny one. We're out of season. Flip on its back. Thumb on, push in, twist. It's got a poop chute, we're going to remove that. And as they always say, we're going to suck it. It's hot and spicy. Ooh, let's bring in the heat. And the sausage. I really like the sausage there. Spud, potato, very under seasoned. And that would have been really good with that spicy sauce, like kind of broken up, maybe even sliced up. That'd have been good. Corn, very overcooked. That needs to be seasoned too. Just cleared my throat and got a second win of that spice. I'll keep drilling these crawfish and see how we go by the 30th one. All right, dinner's done. We're now gonna hike it over to the infamous Bourbon Street. Go have a bloody look at that. Righto, see you there. He's so sweet.
What that guy's doing?
Where's my foreskin? Have a go at this thing.
for our morning fat burning exercise. Probably not going to do any push-ups here. Probably don't need to get any mank on the hand. So we're punching out about an hour today. I'm going to go to visit the plantation home, Whitney, to see some of the darker side of the history of the state tomorrow. Yeah, that'll be later today. So that should be eye-opening, I'm sure. Alright, we'll punch this out and see you a bit later. We just thought I'd treat ourselves and go into the city, main city area, have a quick coffee in the Sheraton. Jesus, stark difference in this part of town. Bloody wild. Righto, you unlubed weapons. I've just reset after brekkie and a walk this morning. Now we're going to pump that back down to the river. We're going to actually jump on a bus. We're going to head out to the Whitney plantation, as you can appreciate, a very dark side of the America's history. And it would be, I can only imagine, you know, the connection and the emotion to a lot of the people, the descendants are actually living around this area. So we thought it would be fitting for us as tourists to come and have a look and gain some knowledge about that. So probably I'll show you a bit of the journey out there. It's about an hour and a bit drive from where we are at New Orleans, heading northwest. Got a little local haunt to go to for some fried chicken, but you know, I was at Cafe Du Monde and Amory just walked in, drilled a fucking table in no time. Check out the queue. Look at this. Starts here. And it's going. Keeps on going. Keeps on going.
Yes.
And it looks like it's ending about there. Jesus. I don't know how we did it yesterday, but by God, we absolutely nailed it. We'll go dark for sure. Fine, a drum set. Awesome, thank you. Right, we didn't get to go to the little corner store we want to go to, running out of time. So we went to one of the tourist traps, I guess. Willie's bloody expensive, mind you. $16.08 US or $24.79 Australian, like for 2 pieces of chicken. Crazy. We didn't realise you do get a bit of chips in there, but there's a look at the goods and there's the drumstick. Juicy. It's a bit like hot and spicy at KFC. If you're in Australia, it's the best way to describe it. Alright, let's try the drummy. For some reason it seemed like the thigh had more spice in it. Quickly try the chips. I feel like KFC is a bit more crispier though. It's a bit heavy on the oil. Maybe 10-15 people in there, so it's pretty quiet. It's not under pressure or anything, so I'm guessing this is the best that they've got. It doesn't look anywhere near as good as that corner store that we were aiming for this morning.
Yeah.
We were in there looking for some fruit, and I saw the chicken and went, holy, that looks next level, but we just didn't think of it till it's later, so not bad. Definitely not worth $24.79.
No way.
Right, so we're taking the Grey Line bus down, get out to the Whitney plantation. But obviously, if you're hiring a car, you can punch out there. Locals don't need to say any more. But it's an pretty easy option. I'll just say that you just cross the railway line and go to right next to that. There's a sign just back there. It tells you which bus stop to go to. We're at number 1. Show your ticket, pull it up. She'll find you on a little phone and then just jump on.
Only a bus driver. I usually have a video that I play, a little overview of the Whitney plantation, but the monitors are not working. So, yeah, it is really interesting too.
Damn.
This ride will take us about an hour and a half to get there.
There's the Caesars Superdome. Look at the size of it. Very prominent during Hurricane Katrina.
Oh yeah, they are cutting it. It is harvest season now. The ones that the sugarcane fields where the cane is leaning, that's going to be the next crop.
As you can see here, all that wispy willowy stuff, that's Spanish moss. There was actually 114 slaves, including children, that operated on this plantation. It was run for 110 years by the Heidel family, which were German.
Black Code, or Code Noir, required enslaved people to be baptized and given a new name.
None of them really renounced his own name. But since we are dealing with official documents made by the slave owners, that's why you see mostly European name and not African name.
In 1808, a law prohibiting the international slave trade went into effect in the United States. This side of the Wall of Honor, you'll find names of enslaved people who were brought to the Whitney plantation during this domestic slave trade era.
So this house was built in 1790 for the Hurdells. And it was actually regarded as a pretty big house, even as far as slave owners go. And they obviously had domestic slaves as well to do all the house cleaning and all that sort of rudimentary type stuff inside the house. So as you can see here, this is the plantation store just through there. You'll see that in a minute. When Martin Luther King was assassinated, the workers actually set fire to that store that I showed. This is obviously much later in history. Yeah, that was very interesting to find that out. So these bricks that we're walking on was actually milled by the slaves and workers on site. The house actually had something called bouzelage, which was a mixture of mud from the local swamp area and Spanish moss that was insulated into the wall. So this is now the external cookhouse, and they cooked things like jambalaya, gumbo, etc. like that. So next to the external cookhouse, you can see a lot of the slave areas, accommodations. So this particular one, this is a barn where they used to house a lot of the mules. A lot of the slaves would have to obviously use mules to work the land.
That's less of a motivating factor. They're more worried about the preservation of the people.
They didn't have to work all the time on the plantation, and they were usually hired out from plantation to plantation all the way to New Orleans. Among the people who were freed from this.
So this is the blacksmith.
An example of one of the cells that they were often held in.
Oh, so then you could be doing. These are the sugar kettles. You can see the sugarcane carts here, much different to the modern ones that you'd see in like North Queensland, for example, and obviously through modern day Louisiana. Over 107,000 people that are enslaved in Louisiana between 1719 and 1820. So
this is a representation of the decapitated heads of the leaders of that rebellion.
And this statue represents emancipation. So this memorial you're about to see is to represent the 2,200 children that were killed, that died during slavery. Well, yeah, that was pretty moving, pretty profound, even just to learn some of the history of America. One thing I didn't know is realise a lot of the slave owners were actually German. Not something I realised. I could just encourage you to Google it. I'd only touched on some of the basic information that I know about. The server just pegged me with a daiquiri, just got absolutely decimated. Got a little towel over me because it looks like I just pissed myself, but she'll be right. First cab off the rank, prawn and crab bisque, even though I feel like I still pissed myself. Got a nice little kick.
It's really good.
Feels like really hearty. And of course, old fashioned is.
You too?
Alright, give the grater a crack. Little tough. Let's go to the catfish. That's good. Try with the satay. Pretty good.
It's really yummy, hey?
That's shrimp. Not bad. Oh, the dipping sauce is quite tangy. I'm a huge fan of lemon. Squeezed over my chips or onion rings. Just that acidity cut through the fat really well. Not too shabby. Pretty light. So this is at Landry's. Overall, not a bad food. It has been really slow though, straight off the bat.
This service has been horrible.
About an hour wait. Right, that's a wrap for our final night in New Orleans. Hopefully you got a little bit of a taste of all the different things that we've seen and done. Tomorrow we're going to head off to Texas. Yeehaw! I'm pumped to hit Texas finally. We'll have our last walk in... Oh my God. We'll have our last walk around New Orleans, grab a quick feed on the way to the airport, and then we'll head off to Dallas and we'll get to see Cowboys versus the Washington Commanders. Righto, see you then. Good morning, you bloody legends. Righto, we're going for a morning walk because if you're anything like me, you're age 40, everything goes straight to your butt. So if you're not going to the gym, not grinding out the steps, putting on fucking 10 kg and I don't need to put on any more weight, that's for bloody sure. So we're just heading towards Frenchman Street, sort of cutting down the main drags just to see what they're all about in the morning. A little bit dark, so you obviously just got to be aware of yourself. I'll pull this phone down in a minute because I fucking stand out like dog's balls. Right, you can just see in the background there the Crescent City connection. It's supposed to be raining today, so don't know how much rain they're getting in, but it's quite cool at the moment. When it sort of hits around that 0800 mark, that's when you get a lot of the sun starting to pour in, and that's when you get that Louisiana heat. Keen on getting moister than an oyster because I know Mrs. Q doesn't want to get her hair wet, so I don't know how much longer we'll be out here, and I'll do a little bit of a wrap up in the end before we head off to Dallas. Now, in particular for those in Australia, probably Hurricane Katrina is the most prominent, especially with the Netflix series. You know all about the flood walls, floodgates. So this is just one example here. So this is Echo Bravo 58. Check that out. Then it runs all the way up here. That's probably, I don't know, maybe 10 foot tall. Well, after being suitably soaked, we're just enjoying our last bone broth, coffee on the deck before we head off to the airport. But obviously we didn't have enough time here, right? There's no way you could taste just about everything. We had to sort of hit the big touristy things, you know, the Bourbon Street, the Frenchman Street, because you know, they're big attractions, of course, why not? And obviously saw we pounded the pavement, had a look, seeing what was out and about in the community. That was bloody awesome. When we were researching the area, I didn't see a lot. I didn't see barely at all, actually, was to go out to the Whitney plantation for whatever reason. So I encourage you to learn a little bit about some of the maybe not so touristy type things. Head out there and see what the slaves had to endure so many years ago. Definitely worth a look. Airbnbs in regular houses, frowned upon from the locals. But something like this, which is an inn, just happens to be listed on Airbnb, definitely get stuck into. For me, like I said, our preference is always to be out of the city centre, so we're not so insular. Things that we love, the culture is just like something I've never seen. The way that they talk to each other, the music, everything about it, the liveliness, unparalleled so far. It's something I've never seen in my 43 years on this planet. If you're into jazz or into music in any shape, way or form, you must go down Frenchman Street. Bourbon Street, of course, if you like a bit of a tipple. Don't know if you heard about the steamboat, that's pretty cool. The zombies, they are prevalent absolutely everywhere. So I'd say, you know, even on Bourbon Street and the big key areas, they're still there. So I would just say, just be mindful of how you speak to people. Probably not going down dark alleys, especially not by yourself. You just don't know, right? You don't know what you don't know. So just keep an eye out for that. Enjoy what New Orleans has to offer. It's just so much. You'd probably need at least a couple of weeks here to get even a double of everything. We only spent 3 days here. So overall, an absolute cracking trip. I think we had an absolute blast. What was your favourite thing if you had to pick out one thing?
Just the culture and the food. The jazz and the streets.
So culture, food, jazz and the streets. Oh, that was one thing we noticed, even just yesterday. You could be walking, you could have a lot of zombies, it'd be quite dirty. You turn the corner, bang. It's like literally a different world. The houses all suddenly painted nicer. They have these beautiful planters along the balcony, people eating, drinking, talking, saying hello. It's just bizarre. It's truly bizarre and something probably very unique to here. So I hope you enjoyed our little journey. You know the drill. Hit for follow, subscribe, whatever the hell that thing is that all the YouTubers say if you want to follow on them journey. So we're now going to Austin, Texas. We're going to hit some barbecue. We're going to get our country on, righto? Maybe I'll see you there.